tell you.
A 17-year-old trained assassin, known only by the codename 13, launches a relentless rampage against dirty cops and corrupt government officials to avenge her son's death. Her mission for vengeance drives her to turn against her own mentor and the powerful organization that raised and employed her, a secretive syndicate known as the Shadow. The story of this movie takes place in Japan. It starts by showing us a Yakuza boss at his home, which is heavily guarded by hundreds of bodyguards who watch over it all day and night without stopping. This extra security is because of rumors about a mysterious group that can kill quietly, without making a sound. Even with all the protection, the Yakuza boss can't relax. Not for even a moment. The Yakuza boss is surprised when one of his men brings in a female musician who has come to perform for him. He quickly tells all his guards to leave the room for a while, without thinking too much. But that decision turns out to be a big mistake because
Tell you.
hearing the female musician scream, the guards burst into the room, only to freeze at the gruesome sight before them. Their commander lay dead, his head severed, his face twisted in terror. Trembling, the musician pointed to a nearby samurai statue, insisting the killer had hidden there. Acting on instinct, the guards opened fire on the statue. Suddenly, the true assassin emerged, calm, silent, and standing right among them. In a blur of motion, he struck. The guards never stood a chance. What followed was swift, brutal, and merciless. And this is what happened next. After swiftly eliminating the low-level guards, the assassin finally confronted the boss's personal aide. In the chaos, a single miscalculated shot strikes the innocent female musician. The assassin faltered, a flicker of guilt breaking through the cold precision that had guided every move. That brief hesitation was all the aide needed. Wasting no time, the aide strikes, bringing the assassin down. He then tore off the mask, only to recoil in shock. Beneath it is not the face of the ruthless killer he'd imagined, but that of a woman. Before he can process the revelation, the lights suddenly cut out. But it isn't a power failure. Someone has deliberately sabotaged the system. Turns out the assassin wasn't acting alone. She had arrived with a partner, just as skilled if not more brutal. Without hesitation, he launched into a rampage, ruthlessly cutting down the remaining guards. In a chilling climax, he tore off his mask and with cold efficiency, mercilessly slaughtered the aide. After the assassin takes out everyone without leaving a trace, her partner, who is also a woman, quickly helped the first agent, who hadn't been killed but had only fainted, get back on her feet. On the way home after the mission, the first agent, known as 13, admitted she lost focus because she accidentally shot an innocent person. The second agent, her mentor named Umbra, reminded her that they were trained to show no mercy, that no matter what happens, they must stay focused on the mission and never let emotions get in the way. Umbra scolded 13 for her mistake and suspended her, sending her to Jakarta for psychological retraining. Agent 13 now lives in a rundown apartment building on the edge of Jakarta, Indonesia. Every day, she takes a special pill given to her by the Shadow organization, a drug meant to dull the constant pain in her head. She's not the only contract killer working for them. There are many other agents around the world, each one with no past and no real identity. It's no wonder Agent 13 often suffers from intense headaches, indicating that she has been conditioned to forget her past since she was a child. Few weeks later, and Agent 13 goes to an old, abandoned building to try to contact her Shadow organization. But instead of giving her a new mission, the operator simply reminded her to keep taking her daily pills and to wait for further instructions. When Agent 13 returned to the apartment complex and climbed the stairs to her room, she happened to see a young boy trying to help his mother, who had collapsed from too much intoxication. Something inside her stirred, and for a moment, she felt the urge to help. But she stopped herself. She chose to walk away, not wanting to get involved in the lives of others around her. As night falls, Agent 13 looks out her apartment window and witnesses the boy and his mother being assaulted by a group of thugs. It looks serious. But just like before, she chose not to get involved and simply went to bed. The next morning, shocking news spread through the building. The woman had been found dead, her body beaten badly. It was a brutal scene. The boy has now become an orphan and will have to survive on his own. Sometime later, Agent 13 is eating meatballs at a small food stall. The young boy whose mother was killed suddenly came up to her and asked for her leftovers. His name is Mungji, and without hesitation, 13 gives the boy some food, and Mungji started telling her about his mother's death, which, as it turned out, was somehow linked to a thug named Haga, though it wasn't clear who Haga was. Seeing the sadness on Mungji's face, Agent 13 decided to lift his spirits by taking him on a ride around the city on her motorcycle. It was a simple gesture, but it was enough to bring a brief smile back to Mungji's face. The next morning, after taking a shower, Agent 13 found a small piece of paper with a simple message from Mungji. Thank you. When she goes to look for him, his home is already empty, he has gone. Not long after, a man showed up searching the house. His name is Jackie, an envoy sent by the gang leader named Haga. He had been ordered to search Mungji's house for something hidden there. Drugs and a sum of money that had been stolen by Mungji's mother before her death. The truth behind Mungji's mother's death is finally revealed. She was killed for stealing white powder that belongs to Haga, Jackie's boss. While Jackie is distracted, using some of the white powder himself, Agent 13 steps out from her hiding place and demands that he take her straight to Haga, one of the people behind everything.
Di mana Monji? Bawa aku ke dia.
Ke siapa? Kagak.
Ayo cepat.
On the way to Haga's location, Agent 13 asked Jackie who Haga really was. Without saying much, Jackie simply points to a large billboard showing two political candidates running for governor and vice governor, a father and son. They are the true figures behind the name Haga. In secret, they run a drug empire and control several nightlife spots across Jakarta. But the web of corruption ran deeper than anyone had imagined. It wasn't just Haga and the crooked officials who were involved. Precicio, a high-ranking police officer with a reputation as unshakable as his public persona. Beneath the surface, however, Precicio is knee-deep in the same dirty business, his badge shielding him from suspicion. What makes it even murkier is his close relationship with Ariel, the charismatic son of the gubernatorial candidate whose face now looms over the city on towering campaign billboards. When Agent 13 arrives at Monrose, the nightclub that is run by Haga, she is quickly taken to meet Soraya, Haga's younger sibling. Just like her brother, Soraya is known for being cold and ruthless, driven only by money. But when she hears that Agent 13 has valuable information, she finally agrees to let her meet Haga in person. While Jackie goes to meet Haga, Agent 13 remains in the surveillance room. Seizing the opportunity, she checks the CCTV recordings and discovers footage of Mungji being brought to this very location. Without hesitation, she sprang into action, silently taking out the guards one by one. Bursting into Haga's room, she knocked Soraya unconscious and stood face to face with Haga, challenging him to fight her one-on-one.
Monji.
As Soraya regains consciousness and rises from her faint, her eyes lock onto the chaos unfolding before her. Without hesitation, she reaches for a nearby shotgun, levels it at Agent 13, who is still locked in a fierce battle with Haga, and take aim. Just as Soraya pulled the trigger, the shot hit and killed Haga instead. Panicked, Soraya drops the weapon and flees to call the guards. Wasting no time, Agent 13 orders Jackie to bring the heavily intoxicated woman with them. But as they stepped into the hallway, a line of armed guards was already waiting. There was no turning back. Without hesitation, Agent 13 sprang into action, cutting through the opposition with ruthless precision, taking them down one by one. Agent 13 eliminates the men, tears through them without mercy, striking each one down with lethal efficiency. The battle spilled into the nightclub, where she once again crosses paths with Soraya, who, as it turned out, still holds a grudge for her brother's death and isn't ready to back down. As soon as the sound of police sirens pierced the air, the chaos abruptly subsided. Agent 13 and Jackie made a swift exit, with Jackie coldly leaving the woman by the side of the road before speeding away from the scene. The movie then shifts to Officer Precicio, who is in the midst of a brutal and inhumane interrogation of a white powder user. The interrogation is abruptly interrupted by a phone call informing him of Hage's death. Without hesitation, Precicio rushes to the scene, only to find his close friend lying cold, lifeless, and dead. Precicio immediately contacts Ariel to inform him of Hage's death. We are then introduced to Ariel, a vice governor candidate running alongside his father, Sumitro. Their campaign billboards portray them as polite and humble, smiling beneath the slogan, "For the prosperity of the people." However, behind this carefully crafted image, Ariel and Sumitro are ruthless, corrupt, and inhumane. They are deeply involved in numerous criminal activities, and their entire political campaign is bankrolled by the vast and dirty business empire they have built. Overwhelmed by the pressures of his political career, Ariel had developed a disturbing and violent habit. Hidden beneath his house was a private holding cell, a dark, secluded room where he often imprisoned women he had taken from nightclubs. But this time, his target was Mungji. The scene shifts back to Precicio, this time stripped of any official police attire and operating well outside the boundaries of his duty. Alongside his subordinates, also police officers, he disguised himself to blend in with the criminal underworld. Their destination was Jackie's residence, where she was tending to his ailing grandmother. Their objective was clear: uncover the true identity of Agent 13 and locate her whereabouts. Meanwhile, Agent 13 goes to the abandoned building where the organization's secure phone is hidden. There, she activates the secret emergency protocol without authorization, driven by a single intent: to acquire a handgun. Jackie is at home, caring for his seriously ill grandmother, when Precicio arrives with his men to uncover Agent 13's whereabouts. Jackie insists that the person they are looking for had left him right after they visited the Moonrose Club, repeatedly claiming she had no connection to Agent 13. Suddenly, the sharp crack of gunfire rang out from outside the house. Without hesitation, one of Precicio's men is ordered to investigate, and this is what happened. Agent 13 suddenly appears on a motorcycle, launching a swift and brutal assault as she begins to take down Precicio's men one by one. The quiet tension shattered into chaos, setting the stage for an inevitable and violent showdown between the relentless hitman and the corrupt officers. After swiftly eliminating Precicio's men, Agent 13 turned her attention to Precicio himself, who, to her surprise, is completely unable to fight back. Just as Agent 13 begins to interrogate him, Jackie suddenly ambushed her from behind, catching him off guard and giving Precicio the chance to escape quickly. Agent 13 chased Precicio all the way to Ariel's residence, a lavish mansion built on a foundation of corruption and blood money. She infiltrates the estate, but just as she advances deeper inside, Ariel suddenly emerges from the shadows, catching her completely off guard, leading to a brutal confrontation. Still seething with rage, Precicio is moments away from finishing off Agent 13 when Ariel intervenes, insisting they wait so he can inform his father first. As Ariel steps away, Precicio leans in close and whispers something into Agent 13's ear. Agent 13 swiftly ends the corrupt officer's life. Ariel, witnessing the brutal act, immediately reacts, striking Agent 13 with a baseball bat, knocking her unconscious. Without hesitation, he dragged the hit woman to the detention room beneath the mansion. The scene then shifts to the jungles of Cambodia, where Umbra, the skilled mentor, is hunting her target. Just as danger closes in, another agent appears, swiftly attacking the enemy and crushing his head without hesitation. Sent to assist Umbra, Troika accompanies her as they move deeper into the forest. They soon find a hut where their target is hiding. Troika orders Umbra to go inside alone while he stays behind to eliminate the guards outside. It's still unclear who they're really after, but based on how the target fights, their target is clearly skilled and experienced. A battle is now unavoidable, and this is what happens next. When the target is finally defeated, Mentor Umbra is shocked to discover it is her former protege, a contract killer who had been labeled a traitor. She then tells Umbra the truth. She and several other agents had defected after uncovering the Shadow Organization's real purpose, exploiting skilled operatives like them for the gain of a powerful few. The agent admitted she no longer wanted that life. All she desired was to live normally, especially now that she was expecting her first child. Unable to kill her former protege, Mentor Umbra hesitates as the agent attempts to flee. But in the doorway stood Troika, waiting. Without a word, he strikes, mercilessly ending her life. On the way back, Troika informs their handler about Mentor Umbra's hesitation in completing the mission, her refusal to kill. To make matters worse, the handler shows photos of the destruction in Jakarta, all caused by Agent 13. Now, because of her former protege's actions, Mentor Umbra must face the consequences. The blame falls on her. Back to Agent 13, who is still trapped in the basement. Ariel, wearing his usual mask and full of rage, tortures her. Just as Ariel is about to end her for good, suddenly, Father appears and immediately yells at Ariel for messing up, which had caused the deaths of Haga and Precicio. He reminds Ariel that they still need a lot of money for the campaign, so the drug deal with someone named Kabil has to go on. Father sees great potential in Agent 13. If she could take down dozens of police officers and Haga's men by herself, then facing Kabil and his people wouldn't be hard for her. That way, during the deal, they can take both the money and the white powder for themselves. Not long after Father leaves, they bring in Jackie and Mungji. They were badly beaten, their faces almost unrecognizable. Agent 13 can only stay calm and hold back her anger, waiting for the right time to fight back. The night of the deal finally comes. With Mungji and Jackie in the car waiting, Agent 13 is forced to step forward, carrying the bag with the goods. Once Ariel has the money and Kabil has taken the goods, Jackie, who is in the car with Ariel's father, sees that Mungji is in very bad shape. Mungji dies right there. With nothing left to lose, Jackie can't stay quiet any longer. He shouts out, telling Agent 13 that Mungji is dead. Agent 13 now has no reason to follow Father's orders. Realizing that Father and Ariel were planning to betray the deal, Kabil quickly orders his men to open fire. And that's when everything explodes into chaos. Kabil's men kill the father. Seeing this, Ariel panics, grabs a weapon, and starts shooting wildly at everyone around him. After taking down the soldiers, Ariel jumps onto a car and puts on his signature mask. Fueled by rage, he takes out Kabil while shouting Agent 13's name. Soraya tries to shoot at 13 but is quickly run over with a car. And right after that, Ariel and his troops quickly begin their hunt for Agent 13. Only Ariel and Agent 13 remain. A young politician with no combat experience. The other a lethal operative shaped by years of deadly missions. It is clear Ariel stand no chance. His end came swiftly and gruesomely at the hands of Agent 13. After everything is over, Agent 13, along with Jackie and Mungji, who had already died, leaves the place in a damaged car, driving in silence until this happened. Jackie! Both Jackie and Agent 13 are captured by the handler and mentor, Umbra, who is preparing to execute Agent 13 for violating protocol. However, just as Umbra is about to deliver the final blow, Jackie suddenly lunges forward and shoves her from behind. Jackie is shot dead by the handler in the chaos, while Troika is immediately dispatched to hunt down Agent 13. And so, the inevitable battle began. Two shadow operatives, forged in secrecy, now set on a collision course. It didn't take long for Agent 13 to take down Troika. Eventually, Mentor Umbra stepped in to confront her. The final confrontation unfolding inside the dim, stationary aircraft cabin. There, the two clashed in a fierce and brutal fight, each move sharpened by years of training, and this is how it went down. Caught in the blast, Mentor Umbra struggles to stand. Her mind is set. She would stop Agent 13 no matter what it takes. Just then, the handler shows up and tells Umbra to kill 13, but Umbra refuses and attacks the handler instead. Umbra is shot and badly hurt, which makes 13 kill the handler. As Umbra is dying, 13 holds her, and Umbra tells 13 her real name, Nomi, before passing away. Back in Jakarta, 13 buries Manji but soon finds out that other shadows are hunting her. They are led by Agent 14, who is supposed to replace 13 and wants her dead. A masked man shows up, kills 2 shadows, and warns 14 before she runs away. The masked man reveals he is Master Burai, Umbra's respected teacher. He asks 13 to become his student. She agrees and says she wants to be called Nomi from now on. If you did enjoy our recap, do give us a thumbs up and share. See you on the next one.